discipline personally, and also discipline for the whole society as we are with others. So the Baha'i faith is to discipline, to create an order and discipline within us for ourselves. It puts our energy, as Aldous Huxley says, in a team as opposed in a mass. That this team of the body that consists of the organs such as heart and brain and hands and all that, same way our spirit and our soul is disciplined. This is why under the discipline, lots of time you often hear that the person says, oh, I have no time to do this, I have no time. It's all because of the lack of discipline. If you put the discipline in place, do the leftover problem that you have not dealt with it, then you can sit down and you feel a lot happier and you seem that you have a lot of time. So when they say I don't have time, really they mean I don't have no patience, I don't have no power. I'm like stressed out. Only because of the lack of discipline, the energy is dispersed everywhere, like a man whose economy is not under discipline and under order. It's very, very important. Okay, I've got here a few notes that I like to stress again, that the discipline, the Baha'i discipline that baha'u'llah suggests to us is a natural discipline. It's not geometrical, it's not Euclidean. It's not to get up exactly 8 o'clock in the morning. Actually, that's not very good. Because that even creates habits of a sort that then we just get up at 8, get at 8:30, get at 8:15. If you got to go to work at 8 o'clock, get up at 7, get up at 7:30. Different timing. It doesn't have to be all the same. The nature is like that, natural system. There's no angles. There's no, look at our hand, look at our face. The contour of the face is not exact circle, it's not exact triangle. The life has to be like that. If it is like that, the person feels at home. Just like the person who's dressing up a bad, tight clothes and is not comfortable, his shoes. A bad program is like that. The body is exactly where we're wearing it, our soul, our head. So if it is disciplined, just like a good clothes around you, you feel comfortable, you can do everything. One of the most important features of the discipline and the order, especially in the Baha'i faith, is very, very important. That's really the most important part of the discipline, is that discipline and the order has a goal. That itself is nothing. If you say, I'm just a discipline, to do what? What is the plan? In Baha'i faith, Baha'u'llah tells us discipline and order is like a catalyst. It helps us to do things. Itself is not a goal. It's like obtaining a car. Car is not a goal. Destination is the goal. So if we are just simply disciplined, but we have no goal in the life, what do we want to do? Now we're disciplined, we're order, we're put together, we're a team. We're an organization, our body and our soul. It can, like a car, drive around. What's the address? Where are we going? It's very important that we have a goal. Even the world order of Baha'u'llah, which he has brought for the whole planet, which mostly entails a spiritual part of the people, their togetherness become organized under this world order. It has a goal. He says that this itself is not the goal. If somebody as a Baha'i wants to just create administration and more assembly and add to the administration, add to the order and discipline, whatever the Baha'i faith is, the most important part of it is, it's different from other religion because the world order of Baha'u'llah is what he himself has revealed it. But if that becomes the goal, Shoghi Effendi says it becomes a means to its own end. Like, what's your goal? My goal is to create administrations, more assemblies, more councillors, more board members. For what? Baha'u'llah says. Baha'u'llah says all of this is to bring us together. So we have a chance every 19 days, Baha'is, they get together. It's called 19-day feast. A chance that we see each other on a spiritual basis. We haven't come together to talk economy. We did that all day in the week. We haven't come here to do even a social meeting. This isn't a spiritual social meeting. Here we're talking to each other from heart. We want to become friends. Not for the reason of economy, not for the reason of becoming famous, but a different kind of connections. This is the goal of the administration, to bring the people closer to the spiritual dimensions. But not criticizing, I'm just reporting my observations that I was in Iran and in Canada. I have seen this administration force among the Baha'is seems to be the only thing that they think of it. So it's becoming, derailing the Baha'i faith from its goal, just as Sharia Effendi says. The whole idea is that we get closer and we become firmer. Using the administration, we're dispersing everybody from even coming to the meetings. We are not, doing the right things. But by the same token, to be disorderly and not having any discipline in the life, it's very hard to trust a person who's no discipline. Like Dostoevsky, I think, says, if I remember it correctly, when I was a kid, he says, truth is the road, but outside of the road and truth, that's anywhere. So temporary discipline, you go. Like this, one of the fellows here at the university was telling me that what is so special about Baha'i faith, or any other religion for that matter, that I have to be a Baha'i to be kind, to be generous, to be, faithful, to be loyal, and all this spiritual, gaining. And I told him that. He said, I don't need to be a Baha'i. I know what generosity is. I know what, kindness is. I know what good act is. Isn't this the goal of the Baha'i faith? Isn't that what Baha'i faith wants people to do? I said, sure. He says that, I can do all of those things. I don't need to be calling myself Baha'i, or for that matter, I don't think anybody should be a Baha'i. But you want to be a Baha'i, but don't think that others have to be Baha'i to know those things. These are simple things in the 20th century, the time of science, and we know it. I told him that, do you believe in God? This guy, of course, said, yes, I do. I said, when you're talking about all these attributes of kindness and whatnot and all that, where is it ending? And he said, I suppose to God, I suppose to the higher energy in the universe that we are thinking is the source of goodness, getting us closer to that energy, to that God. I told him, that God has created Baha'i faith as a highway to himself, in which, with the least of energy, with the compact everything, in this highway we can simply fast to go towards him, which is all this goodness. So you're saying to God, okay, I know I have to do all of this, but I don't want to listen to you. I already know it. See this, how really immature it is to say to the teacher in the class, okay, you want to teach me how to become a doctor? All right, I'll become a doctor, but I don't need you to tell me how to become a doctor. How is this possible if you want to reach to God? Not to accept the plan of God, which is the Baha'i faith, his highway, so that everyone in the planet can get in, not just a certain fortunate few that they can climb the mountain and who knows what happens to them, whether they get there or not. But it's for everyone. So Baha'i faith is that discipline, is that highway, and it has a lot of traffic sign in it. All the ordinance of baha'u'llah are like the traffic sign. Sure, you can pass the red light, but you could get charged by the police, or you could kill somebody else. If you pass the red light, you're still a driver, there's no doubt, but you're not working under the discipline. The chances are you're going to create a habit of passing this again, and what will happen to you, the data and the statistics is not very good. Most people driving like that, they'll die, or they kill other people. So there are ordinances in the Baha'i faith. They're just like a traffic sign. Baha'u'llah is not ordering us, he's just informing us, hey, there's a pit there, there's a ditch there, there's this, be careful, you know, this is your neighbor. Don't just say bad things to this guy because he'll come back and get you. Or you have to do fasting when the time comes because you need the energy, you need the willpower because you have to do things in future. Or, you know, the prayer because you have to have a connection to a higher power. Why? Because your children, they look at you and they see that their fathers and their disciplines and the spiritual discipline. He's recognizing a higher power. For sure, the kids, they just follow you because do's and don'ts to the children is the stupidest things. In my opinion, one should never say to the kids what to do. They're too close to be listening to you. They're seeing you. If a person is watching what you do, he doesn't need to hear you to tell him to do this. If he wants, he will. Most of the time we tell them don't do this and don't do that, and then we ourselves doing something else. That becomes really, you know, hypocrisy that children even laugh in their heart to us. And first of all, they start to distrust us and they don't believe in us. So the discipline towards the children is not by telling them what to do. They're going to do what you do. So if you want them not to follow bad things, start yourself right. If you want them to listen to you at a time that they need to listen, or you feel, well, then you listen to your higher power, which is your God, which is Baha'u'llah. If you listen, you've created like a domino effect. You do, they do. You don't, they don't. You know? So this is why we're Baha'is and we're following the Baha'u'llahs and religion of the Baha'i faith.